bike challenge, I think, when you try to measure, is it growing, is it getting better, is it more successful, or is it successful at all? And the measure for that is how many kids and parents were able to engage in the event itself. So we started with a smaller event the first time around, but on the third event that we see that we have a lot more kids that are engaged in it. It's nice to visit the cities, to see the number of kids that are excited to be there, and that's the goal of Sport2Life. So with that measure, I think it's very satisfying to see that every year more and more kids are engaged at different locations, not just the starting point, end point and split, but along the way. And that's our goal, I think, going forward, is to engage more and more kids.
Press conference we had before the challenge, Przemek was telling, how many kids are involved in Czech Republic, and I couldn't believe it, the number have grown, just in 12 months. When we were stopping along the way, it was fantastic feeling to see, the kids, they were excited, everyone was wearing Sport2Life. It was brilliant to see that, they are outside, they're enjoying to do sports, and basically to see their happy faces.
I'm very pleased that this year bike challenge is the kids events, because the Sport2Life Foundation is about the kids. So obviously we had a fun and there was a challenge for us, but the main reason is actually to bring the awareness to kids and their parents. We had about close to 1,000 kids in 4 different destinations in Czech Republic.
So this is our third stop, our second day of the bike challenge, our third annual bike challenge, and we're in Plana near Tabor. And as you can see, this is why we do it. We got a lot of kids out here. They're enjoying their activities and they're enjoying their sports heroes. So it's great to have them out here, and this is the whole purpose, to get them inspired, to get them motivated, and you get a sense of community when you see here. There's one thing that unites all these places, which they have in common, and is really a love for just to get them moving. Then they can see that they will continue. If they're a little bit inspired, that's all we need, a little push, a little shove, and Sport2Life.
So as you can see behind me, this is our third stop with kids from schools, and having fun, being active, being outside, which is the most important thing, and doing it with Sport2Life. So very happy that we can join them, having a little bit of time with them and see that actually kids enjoy being outside. So let's go, let's be outside, let's have some fun, let's have some friendships, and Sport2Life.
As you could see in Prague, you could see it in Everklov, you can see it here in Trebon, there is more and more kids every single year. Sport2Life is growing, and hopefully we can get more kids out to sport and live happier and healthier life through the sport. So Sport2Life, come on.
One quarter down, 2 to go. Tag,
You know, when Mike invited me this year to participate this year in a bike challenge, obviously I was very pleased, and I took it, I took it seriously. So I needed to prepare. I knew that I need to pass it and finish it. I knew it's going to be difficult, but having a great support team behind us, so it helped a lot, and always very healthy team spirit within the group, and so that made the whole journey much easier. So that was very good.
So one peculiarity of the bike challenge is actually in the first 3 days, we cover almost 30–40% of the distance of the bike challenge, and I would say probably 20–30% of the distance in terms of the elevation of the bike challenge. And at that point, when you would think we're most exhausted, we usually add in a climbing or hiking. In this case, we did a ferrata. And it might seem very, very difficult, but for us, it's actually more relaxing because it's a different type of activity. It gets you out of the mindset of biking. It kind of breaks it up, which sometimes can seem monotonous. So it actually helps us a lot. I enjoy that very much, and it relaxes me more than it stresses me out and tires me. So to me, it's like a recuperation day to a certain extent.
Na letošní bike challenge jsme používali kola z výroby z poslední doby. Jsou to moderní, ale běžné produkty, tak jako si je můžete koupit v obchodech. Jsou funkční, mají většinou nadstandardní vybavení, tak aby byly příjemné na užívání.
Entering Croatia is always a very emotional moment. I would say, you know, it's interesting because for me, Split really is my home away from home. And Croatia has always welcomed me with open arms, open heart, and the feeling is mutual. The first stop of our bike challenge was Pregrada, and we were met by the mayor and the head of the tourism board. The mayor, Marco, who's very, very friendly, very open, showed us this beautiful town, very proud of it. And of course, when you see somebody that's very, very proud of their location, you know, I think it makes you appreciate it even more. And I think they were very happy to have us there, and we were very happy to be there. So that was our first stop, and it was emotional, sure. This was our second visit to Samobor, which I enjoyed. It's a beautiful, beautiful city next to Zagreb. And of course, I'm always drinking from the fountain, which ensures that you're going to return to Samobor. So again, I drank from the fountain, so I think I will probably return. We will return as a team again next year.
Prostě ty emoce a to dobrodružství, které zažijete na takové akci, tak ve vás je a udržuje to ohromné přátelství a to se tam všechno propisuje do toho. Kluci, kteří se zúčastnili Bike Challenge, tak jsou trénovaní a já jsem neměl obavy o tom, že by to nezvládli. Oni sami moc dobře vidí, kde tlačí bota a doslova teda Patrik to odnesl. Přizpůsobili se, a protože sport je hlavně o hlavě a oni to měli nastavený. My jsme ráno vytáhli kola z garáže, z kempru a už jsme se vlastně těšili. My jsme vlastně jakoby se nebáli té etapy. Bylo zajímavé, loni se mě ještě ptali, jak dlouhá je etapa. Letos jsem to slyšel možná jednou nebo dvakrát, protože oni vlastně vůbec nepočítali s kilometrama. Oni šli na tu denní etapu s tím, že prostě to je zábava pro ně. Takže to bylo pro mě vlastně jakoby vyznamenání, že se jim to hrozně líbí a že z toho nemají žádný stres a těší se na to.
One of the great things about the bike challenge is you meet friends and then or make friends and then you meet them again on the next challenge. And this is exactly what happened when we received a very warm welcome from Željko, who's become our friend in a short amount of time. And it's always great seeing him, talking to him, but also enjoying his beautiful hospitality, wonderful hospitality, which is really a trademark of all of Croatia. And this was no exception when we saw him next to the Kupa River in Ojal. And we enjoyed it very much. We enjoyed the food and the warm welcome, and it really refreshed us because we knew we had to go another 50, 60 kilometers, and that's what keeps us going sometimes, these visits and the people that we meet, and their appreciation for us and our appreciation for them. So our next stop in the green heart of Croatia was in Ogulin, which is the fairy tale capital of Croatia. And we get to hear some beautiful stories, fairy tales. And saw the abyss of Jula, where the Dobra River disappears completely and reemerges somewhere else. And it's really a natural, beautiful sight to see and a beautiful town. It was full of life. And we had a wonderful evening, another wonderful evening, another wonderful time visiting another special place.
When going through the Croatia, I've been in Croatia for about 15 times, and I fly and I drive. But I just don't think I will be able actually to see, so much I have seen in the last 10, 11 days, when actually riding the bike. Why? Because we visited the places where you usually don't go, and I think it's a pity. Everyone goes, to coast, and seeing those places, that was wonderful. It was a great experience, and also seeing those people. They are so warm and, so nice. So that would be actually my advice when you guys actually go to Croatia. Most of the people wants to go to sea, and that's obvious. But don't forget, the inner land. That's so nice and so beautiful too. So don't miss it. That would be a pity.
So our next stop is in Lika County, and Lika County is one of my favorite counties in Croatia because it's wild and beautiful mountains, forests, rivers, and actually we were able to bike with the mayor of Otočac, Goran, who joined us for part of the journey, and that's important for us because we want to engage in some important local notable people, especially mayor, who himself is, I'm sure, a leader in the community, so it's important for his community to see him participating in our bike challenge, and that's part of the goal of why we do it. Great Sport2Life biking. He's the example of a good mayor.
Thank you.
And we love Otočac because we're going to go fly fishing right now, right, Patty?
Exactly. That's why we're here.
Otočac has everything. We enjoy the nature so much, and we enjoy fishing so much, and it was really a wonderful sight to see the Gatska River, which is one of the top fly fishing rivers in Croatia. And we enjoy fishing not just because we enjoy catching the fish, but it's usually what brings us to certain places, and this was definitely no exception. Gatska River was translucent. I mean, it was like clear water. You can see how clean, fresh it is, and we had a wonderful afternoon of fishing and also kayaking. Przemek and Tomasz went kayaking while we were fishing, and I think they enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed our fishing, and then we had a good night's sleep, which comes after a day of fishing.
The inland nature in Croatia is beautiful, and we had so many great spots we have visited last year and also this year. You're cycling for 2 days and you don't meet people, you don't see any cars, and you're just looking around, how beautiful the nature in Croatia is. We also stopped one afternoon for kayaking, and we did some fishing with Mike on the river, which was absolutely beautiful. We had a great couple of hours, and as I said before, with the ferrata, you know, sometimes it's nice just to break it up and, you know, do different activities, and we really enjoyed it, all of us. But for me, every single river we have crossed, you know, I just couldn't believe how the water is clear, you know, how the rivers are beautiful, you know, over here. And just generally, you know, people come to Croatia because of the coast, but I think, you know, they should also explore inland because there is so much to see, not just over here, but also inland. Tomáš is the best cyclist, you know, in the whole group, but that, you know, he's the one who's going to get hurt, you know, because he is doing, you know, so much crazy stuff on the bike, you know, he's taking pictures, videos, you know, in the dangerous positions for us, which we can post somewhere and we look great, but, you know, it's dangerous for him.
So Lika County is mountains, forests, and big valleys and meadows, which you can see the cows grazing, the sheep grazing, and you can tell that they must be with some of the tastiest steaks and lamb because of what they eat and because of the pure nature. And that's why we especially enjoyed eating a very traditional Croatian dish, lamb on a spit, which is one of my favorite things to eat. And when you eat it right straight from the fire, it has a certain taste that cannot be replicated anywhere.
Obviously, I had like a problem with my corn, you know, on my big toe, and with the cycling shoes, you know, they're very tight. So when the fingers are pressing next to each other, you know, it's really painful. And you know, I don't want to say I was struggling with it, but you know, when you're in the shoes for 7-8 hours a day, you know, had to find a solution, you know, how to ease the pain a little bit. And then, you know, thanks to David, you know, who is the guy behind the foods and the pit stops, and you know, he's also like heart of the team, because, you know, I think, you know, without him it wouldn't be so easy. And you know, thanks to him, you know, he did like a special pad between my fingers, lent me his cycling shoes, which are much wider and much bigger, and I was able to, you know, finish the bike challenge all the way to Split.
When we enter Croatia, we change the route always a little bit, and we have a chance to visit new places. But one thing you have to do is you have to cross the mountains from Lika to the coast. In this time, we actually went over to Knin and visited Knin, important city in the history of Croatia, and had a chance to see one of the best preserved fortresses in Europe. And most importantly, had a very, very warm welcome from the Knin-Šibenik mayor, county mayor, Marko, and was very gracious to tell us about the history and enjoy, let's say, a glass of cold beer with us as well, which is always good after a very long and, let's say, hot, in this case it was very hot, bike ride. So we enjoyed to learn about the history and the importance of Knin and the history of, and in the independence of Croatia, which is one of the benefits of visiting these places with the local mayor, because it adds a different element to it.
If I would have to like say one thing that you know, I really liked and enjoyed it, that was when we stopped in Drniš, and you know, we have been able to taste the prosciutto, which actually also is delivered to the Queen of England. And it was really like a special occasion. We also had chance to try to cut it the way, you know, the old way, which is not really easy. You know, I mean, none of us was pretty much able to do it, but I mean, with the red wine, with the local red wine, the prosciutto was really, really good.
I would say say one of the most memorable moments of our bike challenge is when we see the sea.
All right, beautiful Adriatic Sea, Sport2Life!
Yeah, go
And this is what happens when we entered Klis in this case, and we saw the Azure Sea, Adriatic Sea, which is telling us that we're very close to our goal. And when we passed over Klis and visited Fortress of Klis, which is again a very important fortress in the history of Croatia, was the gateway to Split, and played an important role again in the history of Split. And to learn a little bit more about that fortress and the role it played, and to know that we're very close, that it was going to be downhill from there, was an important timeline of achieving Split. So we enjoyed that very much. Of course, when you achieve your goal, reaching the end destination, which is Hotel Love, it's a very emotional moment. Because it's, first for me, it's my home away from home. But secondly, it's to see that you've accomplished the challenge, and perhaps more importantly, to see the welcoming. In this case, we had our family there with us. I had my daughters, my brother. Patty had his whole family, I think, except for his son. And of course, the kids, the Sport2Life kids, which are so excited, and to see that, wow, okay, you know, maybe some of these kids will continue in sports, they'll continue to be active, they'll be inspired, I think gives us all a lot of satisfaction. And that's really the whole goal of the bike challenge. And that's where we really realize that maybe we can make a difference, or we do make a difference. And it's very emotional, I think, for all of us. Sport2Life.